Go.
All right, how's it going, everybody? My name's Brian Kupfer. I'm here at the reptile department at TGR Exotics in Spring, Texas. And today we are doing a video of our favorite monitor species here. This is Raider. He is a Asian water monitor. And these guys come from South and Southeast Asia. These are one of the largest species of lizards that we have on the planet. This is a little bit further down from the Komodo dragon. That's going to be the largest species of lizard we have on the planet. These guys are right underneath them in body mass.
Hi, Courtney. You're the first person. Just so you know, Courtney just got on.
How's it going, Courtney? And these guys like.
So let's start again and tell everyone who this is and what this is.
Hey guys, this is Raider.
And you don't need to push him away because I can follow you.
This is Raider. He's an Asian water monitor. He's one of the largest species of lizards that we have on the planet, and these guys are pretty massive. They get up to about 6.5 feet long, and the longest recorded Asian water monitor has been 10.5 feet long. So these guys get pretty big. The only lizard that gets bigger than this guy is going to be the Komodo dragon. These guys eat a wide variety of prey. They normally stick to the water, so they eat a lot of fish. They'll eat snakes. One of their favorite things to eat are crocodile eggs, which is one of the main predators of this species. Due to the fact that they raid crocodile nests for the eggs, they typically fall victim to mother crocodiles who obviously don't want lizards taking their eggs. Other than that, they eat mollusks, they'll eat crabs, snakes, they'll eat a lot of fish, a lot of stuff in the water. They're really, really good swimmers. They have a powerful tail. Defensive-wise, they use their tail to tail whip. They will bite. In captivity, these guys really calm down. They make really good pets. When they're smaller, they're pretty feisty. But when they get big like this, they don't have a lot of predators due to their size. Mostly crocodiles or like large cats, things like that. When they're smaller, birds of prey, definitely. They do like to consume other reptiles. They do eat venomous snakes. And they live to about 15 years in the wild. In captivity, they can live a lot longer, maybe like 20 years or so. And what's neat about these guys, you see all the yellow markings on them. They have like these rows, kind of looks like eyes or dots, if you will. Those are called rows of ocelli. And they have a really thick hide on them. They have like keeled scales or like very beaded. Very strong hide.
Does anyone have any questions for Brian? Hi, Amanda. And you guys that I see a lot of nice little responses here. So once this all passes over and have the opportunity, you want to have the opportunity to see some of these amazing reptiles, you would want to book a reptile encounter. We usually have those like at 2 o'clock on pretty much every day. And so you can have the opportunity to see him and some of the other reptiles that we have.
So their breeding season for these guys are typically between October and April, and they lay about 18 eggs, anywhere from 6 to 18 eggs, and it takes about 2 months for them to hatch out. Gestation's about anywhere from 30 to 60 days. They'll lay their clutch of eggs in like a rotting tree stump, typically in trees. The babies like to climb a lot. As you can see, these guys like to climb. They do make powerful swimmers. These guys are like big dogs. You can see that tongue, that forked tongue. These guys are very closely related to snakes. You remember, lizards are diversified by their tongues. There's two major groups. One is iguana, which is all your anola species, your geckos, all the iguanas, stuff like that. And then you have scleroglossa, which has all the venomous species and all the fork-tongue granids and tegus and things like that. But they do possess that Jacobson's organ just like a snake does. And flicking that tongue out to see what's happening.
So how long would you say this is Raider? How long is Raider?
Raider's probably about 6 feet. And they usually get up to about 43 pounds. And they eat a lot. In captivity, we feed these guys Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we feed them various sized rodents. They can eat crawfish. We give them quail. They like chicks. Hard-boiled eggs. They really like hard-boiled eggs, especially the yolks. They have a really big appetite.
So is he like full grown?
He's full grown, yeah. He might be able to, reptiles never stop growing. They can get bigger. Typically they'll be like their top size when they're a lot older. But this is typically how big they get.
Does he have ears? Can he hear?
He does. They hear a little bit different than we do. They pick up more vibrations and sounds like that. You can see these big holes on the side of his head there. Those are ear holes right there.
I'm trying to find. Okay. He's like, no, don't stop. Hello, you. Sorry, guys. There, those holes on the side of his head.
Watching these guys swim in the wild are pretty awesome.
Hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining us today.
What's going on, Andrew? These guys don't shed. I mean, they shed in piecemeal, so they flake the skin off a little bit here, as you can tell. This darker portion here, this richer coloration, is his new skin, and all the duller pieces here, that's going to be like where he's going to shed that off. As you can see, it's kind of like a piecemeal. They pass for skin in patches rather than like one big shed skin, kind of like a snake. These guys love warmth. They love heat. They will bask most of the day. They need a lot of heat to move. As you can see, it's a very large lizard. They need a lot of heat to move and digest food and things like that, chase down their prey. And they have several subspecies of these guys. There's a lot of really cool captive-born stuff that's out there, all black monitors. And a lot of people work with them. They tend to be pretty feisty when they're small, but when they get bigger, they make really cool pets because they tame down and kind of like the presence of people.
Do you have to trim their toenails?
Yes, you do have to trim their toenails from time to time. Having some abrasive, like rocks or, tree limbs and things like that they climb on naturally wear their nails down, so you won't have to do it as much. When they're constantly running around in the wild, it naturally wears their nails down. But in captivity, from time to time, if they need to trim, we will trim them down.
So what does he get fed?
He gets fed colossal sized rats. We do quail. We do chicks. We do hard-boiled eggs. We take the shell off, but they can eat it with the shell on. They usually like to break through it themselves. If you feed a lot of the egg whites from chicken eggs, that can lead to deficiencies. So we try to do mostly yolks. That's where the fatty protein stuff is. So we try to limit the egg whites as much as possible. And we feed them about 3 to 4 times a week. And in captivity, they'll live up to 20 years, maybe past that, maybe 25 years. But in the wild, if they reach adult size, their life expectancy is around 15 years old.
Hi, Justin. Thanks for joining us. He says he loves monitors even though all they want to do is kill and eat.
That is very true. Yeah, they're bottomless pits. They're like garbage disposals. These guys will eat constantly. And they will eat way more than they need to if it's offered to them. But in the wild, they eat a lot of smaller stuff, you know, a lot of things that come their way. They will try to consume, you know, snakes and crabs, a lot of things in the water, small species of fish, probably frogs. They'll even consume turtles and birds if they can get a hold of them. And the only real predator these guys have out in the wild are large species of crocodiles, which they kind of do to themselves because they like to raid croc eggs. That's one of their favorite things to eat. And if a mother crocodile catches one of these guys invading her nest and eating her eggs, she's not the happiest thing in the planet, you know. So she will either fatally wound the animal or she will kill and eat it.
Justin has a question. Does he like to be petted, or is he indifferent to interspecies companionship?
Well, Justin, that's a really good question. Typically, I like to keep stuff separate, that there is no issues. They do tolerate handling. It's all how much how much time you spend with them. They will tolerate you, and a lot of them, you know, you can hold them in your lap. You know, they'll hang out with you, and they're not very aggressive. And it's all, you know, once you get one and you work with it, it's all based on you and your time with the animal. If you don't work with them that much, they tend to stay kind of feisty. They do kind of tame down once they reach, you know, a large size, just because they're not really skittish or freaked out of anything at that point because they're such a large animal.
So Dakota, and I hope I say your other name right, Samara, want to know what the lifespan is.
Lifespan for these guys in the wild is expected to be around 15 years. In captivity, they can live probably up to 20 to 25 years with really good care. It's a dangerous place for these guys where they come from in Asia. There's a lot of different animals. It's a very hot, humid place. And they're always in the water, so there's a lot of species of crocodiles that are out there. And you can see it, they're excellent climbers. Ooh, that's really cool.
He's like,
What's up, bud? But they will let you know if they don't like you being around. They usually do a threat display. They'll puff their throat out. They'll hiss a little bit. And what they'll do is they'll kind of spin around and put their tail towards you. And that's telling you to back off a little bit because they do use their tail to tail whip and get invaders or things that they don't want around them to get away from them. So you can see he's kind of chill right now. He's not doing any kind of defensive posture. He's not puffing his throat. He's not trying to tail whip us. He's pretty content.
Alexandria asks, are they in the same family as the Komodo dragon? Not sure I'm even spelling that right. No, Komodo's with a K, yeah. But I knew what you were saying.
Yeah, Komodo dragons, they're all very closely related. Komodo dragons are a large species of monitor lizard at the end of the day. And this is your second to largest. So your Komodo dragon's the largest species, and then you have the Asian water monitor. And then if you want to talk about how long they get, there's difference between largest and longest. You have crocodile monitors, which are not that large, but they are the longest monitor because they have a very, very long tail. These guys, when you say large, these are a large-bodied animal. They get up to 6 feet, 6.5 feet, and the longest recorded specimen of the Asian water monitor was up to 10.5 feet long. So that's right up there with the Komodo dragons. They get crazy proportional.
Hi, Joelle, Scott, Jen. Thanks for joining. Anyone have any questions for Brian regarding his water monitor? Oh, hi, Connor. This is like your T-Rex. Connor loves T-Rex, so.
Well, Connor, if you like dinosaurs, this is going to be one of your closest things that we have. They remind me of raptors on Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Dakota wants to know how many eggs do they usually lay at one time?
Okay, great question, Dakota. They have anywhere from 6 to 18 eggs in a clutch.
Will they all hatch?
It all depends. It's not always guaranteed that they're all going to hatch. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It all depends on the season, how well that they hide their eggs.
Yeah.
You know, where they're hiding them. If there's any predators that eat their eggs, sometimes other monitors might eat their other eggs. So there's a lot of things. It's a very iffy situation. To have 100% success of all 18 eggs, that's a lot to ask for in the wild.
Okay, Joelle has a question. How much does this one weigh?
This guy weighs about 40 pounds.
How old is this? Is Raider? How old is Raider?
I believe Raider's about 10 years old.
Oh, Joelle has another question. Wants to know, how fast can they move?
They actually, for the size of them, they actually can move pretty quick. If they're in an open area, they actually can run very quickly. He's giving me a hug here.
David wants to know how long their nails grow. So, okay, so we'll look at his front nails here. So you see him on Brian's back there. They're really not long. I mean, you didn't trim his nails, right?
No.
So his are worn off pretty good. They're not even an inch long. Now I noticed on his toes, he is missing some nails. I know that happens on like even, what is it? The popular pet, the bearded dragons. A lot of them are missing parts of their toes and digits and stuff.
Yeah, they can get them caught on things when they're climbing and things like that. If they get them into really small crevices, sometimes the nails will break off.
And I've even heard, like on the bearded, that their siblings sometimes eat them.
Yes, very true.
Eat their toes.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of the times, and a big reason why I like to keep animals separately, if one grows bigger than the other, then the smaller one is typically more stressed out. You might not notice it, but the larger one's always going to get the bigger basking area. They're going to get the better warmth. They're going to get the better meals. And the smaller one usually is the one that stays stressed out because he can't get to those really good spots to obtain like the really good health standards.
Hi, Melanie.
Sometimes the bigger ones will kind of intimidate the smaller ones, and they can pick at them, especially if they're not getting enough to eat. Like the bearded dragon's a great example. If you have a few of them together and one is much bigger, one's much stronger, they'll eat more of the food, they'll take over the basking areas, and the smaller ones, you know, they get weaker because they're not getting the food and the heat that they need. And if they're not getting enough food, they will actually start picking at each other. That's why you see a lot of bearded dragons, they're missing tails or toes. That's because the other cage mate is starting to eat and pick at the other one because they're not getting enough food.
He looks like he's like totally sunbathing, and he's taller than I am right now, so it's hard for me to do this. Any last questions? And I also want to thank everyone for watching. A lot of you are my frequent ones that watch every day. We appreciate it. I have some new names today. Thanks for joining. And we have all different ways you can help us out if you'd like. If you go to our website, tgrexotics.com, on that homepage, there's a COVID-19 green bar to the left. It shows you things that you can donate, whether it be like produce or other items, or even just make a donation via PayPal, Venmo, or we have a GoFundMe page. We also have a lot of these videos that we've done, as well as a lot of other fun ones that we've had posted on our YouTube channel. So if you can go on and watch some of those, that would be fantastic. He doesn't make any noise. He just makes a air sound.
Yeah, he just kind of hisses a little bit from time to time. That's about it.
You can see that ear spot we were trying to look at earlier.
You got to get him right in the side of the neck there. That's where he likes to get scratches.
Look, cats and dogs like that space too. Elizabeth wants to know, does he have a name? Yes.
Yeah, his name is Raider Elizabeth. And he's an Asian water monitor, and the taxonomy on these guys are Varanus salvatori. You know he's an Asian water monitor. He's got that stripe right down his eye. It's called a postocular stripe. And that's a good indication of the species. Not all of them have that.
Well, thank you for joining us today. And if you just got here, you can go back and watch the rest of this, but we really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually, we're doing our timber wolves. Today is Kenai, our male's 1-year-old birthday, but Tracy wants to do a fun birthday party theme for him tomorrow. So join us at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And we will celebrate Kenai's first birthday. Thank you. Bye.